Alright, what's going on people, Ring Road Map here. Today we're gonna do a breakdown of Araneta versus Jakrawut. One of the more iconic finishers in the local scene here in the Philippines. You know, he actually made the opponent puke. I know what you motherfuckers are gonna say, well, he fought another Thailander who doesn't know how to defend himself. Well, surprisingly, the guy was throwing punches and he was moving his head more than a lot of typical Thai fighters. So you have to give it to him. But anyway, that's not our concern right now. I'm not really the matchmaker, so let's just move on to the technical side of things. So the first thing we'll see here is going to be the lead left hand of Araneta. Now, if you think about a lead punch is basically a punch that you lead with, and it needs to be targeted towards where your opponent's head is going to be. And that's exactly what Araneta did here. Most of the time, people fall for the habit of shooting where the opponent's head is at the very moment that they throw it, which is wrong. If you think about a lead punch needs to land where your opponent's head is going to be. Just like how in basketball, they throw a pass to where their teammate is going to go. You know, they don't throw it to where their teammate is. They don't pass the ball to where their teammate is. So this is such a great example to see how to actually throw a lead punch and how to land it on target. So as you can see here, Araneta throws it to where his opponent is going to be, not to where the opponent is currently at the moment, or not to where the opponent's head is currently located at the very moment that he throws it. So as you can see here, the Thai has a habit of actually leaning back, alright? So he threw it just slightly to the side so that he could land to where the Thai's head is going to be, right there, alright? So he throws it as the Thai kind of slips to the right side. So here again, you're gonna see him throw it not necessarily to the center, but more to the side. Which there, I don't think he landed it, but I think it grazed him slightly. I couldn't really tell from the camera angle. So now we're gonna see another one of that. Alright, again, throwing it not to where your opponent's head is, but throwing it to where it's gonna be. And so as you can see here, his lead left kind of landed more, or he threw it kind of more sideways than throwing it like across, and rather than trying to throw it at the center. So that's the first one right there. He times it, he sees that his opponent is becoming bladed every time he slips to that side, and so he throws the lead left hand to that particular location. So now we're gonna look at the front foot slip. Let's see who does the front foot slip. Okay, so here, I think the Thai made an adjustment of slipping more on the inside to try, right there, to try and regain some front foot dominance, or not front foot dominance, to try to stay on the front foot enough so that he won't be pushed back with that left hand of Araneta. So as you can see there, the main problem that he had before was that he was leaning too far on the back foot, and then Araneta was just catching him with those lead left hands. So for this one, he actually tried to slip on the inside. Again, there he does it. Alright, another slip inside. He slip on the outside, or he slip on the right side. Which actually is the wrong term. You can't use inside slip for opposite stance matchups because technically you are slipping on the outside. So let me just say front foot slip. I think that's a better term. So let's see another example of the front foot slip. As opposed to, again, staying bladed and then not putting himself in the position of countering. There, he slips right there. He slips to his left side, and then he was able to counter here with an overhand to the body. I would have preferred him to go to the head right there, but see that for yourself. I would have preferred him to just slip here and then throw it to the head rather than to the body, because there's really not much momentum on his part by throwing it to the body. That would have been better. He would have had more leverage if he threw it to the head of Araneta. Okay, let's see this one. So Araneta decided to adjust with that front foot slip. So he's not, or the Thai is not on the back foot anymore, he's on the front foot. But this opens up the face of the Thai for the jab of Araneta. And that's precisely what Araneta did. He stopped throwing the left hands for a while and he decided to jab on the front foot. Or he decided to jab when the Thai is on the front foot. So look at this timing right here. Great timing there, okay? His opponents, or the Thai's head was on the front, bam, he times it right there. See that once again, it's kind of subtle. Slip, bam, front foot slip. He got caught with a jab by Araneta, bam. Didn't really land clean, but it kind of grazed him a little bit from that view. Another one here, bam, front foot slip once again. Araneta just times him. You're gonna slip there, come here, bitch, bam. He throws a jab right there. Okay, again, he's gonna slip, front foot, bam. Okay, great jab right here by Araneta. Or yeah, I'm confusing the pronunciation of jab and job, like the J-O-B, so forgive my pronunciation on that. I'm still working on it. So here, great job by Araneta to throw the jab, right? Bam, right there. as the tie slips on the front foot, and then there again, he throws it. Alright, you're gonna keep on slipping inside, I'm gonna keep on catching you with these jabs, bitch. That's what he was saying in his mind. So let's see another one. Bam, front foot slip. Bam, time him again with the jab, and then he does a great job there of throwing a looping left hand as his opponent's head is right there on that right side, alright? His opponent is expecting straight punch, or his opponent is expecting a straight punch from Araneta, and so Araneta throws a looping shot instead. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna see now is going to be the body left hand. So a while ago it was mostly left hands to the head, we saw from Araneta, but this one, starting in the mid-rounds, I think he started throwing it more to the body. And what does that do, or what did that do? It actually put his opponent in a squared up position so that he can land more shots coming at the center or coming down the pipe later on, alright? So as you can see a while ago, his Thai opponent was sort of bladed all the time, so it was a little bit harder to reach him with those straight left hands. So by throwing the straight lefts to the body, it actually put his opponent on the front foot, so that as a result, his opponent will lean forward a little bit more, and then that head is going to be closer to the left hand of Araneta. So as you can see, just from looking at this photo, or just from looking at this position of his opponent right here, you can already see what my point is, okay? So let's pause it right there. Bam. Head is much closer to the left hand, he's much more squared up, and his stomach is actually facing Araneta now, so Araneta has more chances of changing levels and, you know, landing on multiple targets at the same time. So let's see another one. Body left hand, and then there again, the Thai here did a pretty good job of actually parrying it away. But the thing here is, if you constantly do this defense where you parry with the lead hand or with the rear hand to defend the rear hand of your opponent, of your opposite stance's opponent, then the thing that's going to happen is they can time it with an overhand left, and you're not going to have any protection on that right side. So this Thai better be careful of actually doing that, because he can get caught with a rear hook, which I think is a punch that ended the fight, by the way. I haven't watched this in a while, but I think what ended this fight was a rear hook to the head. So now let's look at the probe to the left, or the probe to a head left hand, alright? So he starts with a probe right here. He's gonna probe first, and then he's gonna throw a lead left hand right there, and it puts his opponent bladed. Great job for the Thai here to actually slip that particular shot. Let's see another example if he does land it in this particular one. So here again, he's playing the probing game, and then that actually put his opponent in the bladed stance. So by probing right here, as you can see, his opponent is kind of on a back foot, alright? So he doesn't really have any position, or he's not really in a position to establish his offense from his position. This is why probing is such a great thing to do if you are a pot shotter like Araneta. It's not necessarily the best thing to do if you are a combination puncher, because you'd be much better off just keeping your guard up and not wasting your time like measuring the distance, alright? So if you're a pot shotter like Araneta, one punch and then go, then probing is good. So as you can see there, he probes with a glove, or he probes the glove of his opponent first, putting his opponent on the back foot, and then by the time he throws the left hand, alright, his opponent is already at the perfect distance to where he can put leverage on that shot. It's not too far to where he's gonna have to reach for him, and he's not too close to the point where his left hand is gonna get smothered. So great job here, probing for the sake of measurement. That's what you really use it for, and for also pushing his opponent on the back foot. So you can use the probe for both of those reasons. Number one, you can use it to push your opponent on the back foot, and then number two, you can use the probe to actually to measure the distance, so you can know when to throw the shot, when's the perfect distance, or when's the perfect time to throw your rear shot. So that's what Araneta did there. Alright, next thing we're gonna see now is going to be the left body counter. So the Thai was leading with the right hand a lot, alright? I'm not sure if that's what he did in the early rounds, but that's precisely what he did in the middle rounds, alright? He started leading with the right hand, and he was squared up after he threw the right hand. So Araneta saw a pretty good opportunity here to actually counter him with the left uppercuts to the body. So let's see one example right here. He's gonna first throw that right hand, and he'll actually try to follow up with the left hook. Bam, right there. But before he could even land that right hook, Araneta already slipped just slightly to the left side. And then as you can see there, he throws a perfect shot to the liver of Jakrawut. A body uppercut to the liver, which is kind of unusual, but for some reason, or for, Yeah, but Araneta does a pretty good job of landing it. And then here is more of a hook than an uppercut. It's gonna be a rear hook to the liver once again for Jakrawut. And the reason why, yeah, that's my Filipino accent coming in, reason. The reason why that actually worked is because Jakrawut here was throwing a right hand and he was getting squared up. So by getting squared up, his liver is much closer now to Araneta, and then Araneta can kind of time that and throw a short left hook on the liver of Jakrawut. So let's see if this next one is going to be that same shot. It's going to be a left hand to the body counter. So let's see where the right hand comes here. Bam, right hand once again. And then here switches completely to a southpaw stance. And so because of that, the left counter of Araneta kind of got smothered, but you know, that's kind of self-defeating for the Thai because he wasn't really able to follow up on that shot. But it's a pretty good job here of switching to a southpaw stance so that the counter of Araneta would get smothered. So as you can see here, right hand smothered, bam. The shot of Araneta got smothered right there because the Thai ended up getting too close. So that's what I would have actually wanted the Thai to do. After he switches into that southpaw stance, he can start an inside fight, you know. Alright, next thing we're gonna see is going to be from that right hand, the opponent will actually try to throw a gazelle counter because Araneta was really good at moving back. Alright, so by throwing the gazelle hook, you can actually catch a quick fighter like Araneta off guard. Alright, so that's what he did here. He tried to start with the right hand and then he tried to throw a gazelle left hook right here. Alright. Rear foot meets the front foot. That's all you have to remember with the gazelle step. Rear foot meets the front foot and then bam, right there, you gazelle forward. So let's see that right here. Right hand, boom. He tried to take a gazelle step as he throws that left hook, but that one just fell a little bit short. Let's see another example. Right hand, or that one was, damn, I think he threw a jab. Yeah, he tried to throw a gazelle hook off of the jab. That's not something that I recommend because it's too fucking slow. I'd recommend you to throw it more from the right hand and then throw the gazelle hook afterwards. Let's see if that's what he does here. Right hand, bam, he tries to throw a gazelle hook, but he was too close, so I think he canceled it at the last second. Right hand, bam, he didn't take the full gazelle step where the back foot meets the front foot, but yeah, he does a pretty good job right there of getting close, at least, but he didn't land the left hook, yeah, he didn't land it. Araneta was able to duck down. So the next thing we'll see now is because the Thai was, or Araneta in the late rounds, he already got the Thai hurt. So what Araneta did here was he decided to circle around and just throw some pot shots at the guy, or at the Thai. So here he was throwing some shots, staying conservative, playing it safe. This is the late rounds, by the way. So he didn't really feel the need to do much more damage. So he was just throwing some circling pot shots. The Thai couldn't really catch him, couldn't really cut off the ring as well. So you guys can see in the late rounds, or if you guys can see in the late rounds, you just started throwing these pot shots, bam, parry, left hand to the body as it circles around. Again, double jab, jab head, jab body as it circles around, and the Thai couldn't really respond. Once Araneta started fighting in circles, it was over for the Thai. You know, I don't know why he didn't do it earlier. Maybe he wanted to show off a little more of his offense. But if he circled around earlier, then it would have been an outright win via decision. It would have been an outright win via points. But I guess that's not what he wanted to do. That's why in the early rounds, you can see Araneta just standing still right in front of the Thai, not really circling around. But in the late rounds, he decided to do that. And you can kind of see the difference in levels between these two guys, man. Araneta just had better footwork, better power, better everything than this guy. You know, the only thing that the Thai probably had better than Araneta is inside fighting. When the Thai was getting on the inside, he was actually winning. He had tighter punches, shorter punches, but whenever they got back on the outside, then he would get schooled again. That was it. Great fight here. Araneta still needs some work, especially with his right hand. I think the right hook could get better. Absolutely. Once he gets that right hand going, once he adds that right hook, he doesn't even need the right uppercut yet, or the right, he doesn't need any other fucking right hand punches as well. Or he doesn't need any right hand punches yet. What he needs is, he just needs a jab and the right hook. Once he works on that shit, he's gonna be unstoppable. And his combinations too. So that was it. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.